how establishing an effective budget can transform your financial situation, is something easy and straightforward. This video is packed with useful tools that go beyond simply adding and subtracting. Here, you'll discover not only how to save money, but also how to set up an emergency fund and explore different ways to increase your income without having to compromise your current lifestyle. This is Financial Legion, and on our channel we focus on providing safe tools for development in the financial sector in general. To achieve this, it is essential to start with a solid financial organization, treating it as if you were managing a business. We all want to start a business, but the first step to being successful is to manage our personal and family finances well. Even through conventional jobs, it is essential to control income, household expenses, and what is saved for future investments, which is a form of entrepreneurship in itself. Today, I want to offer you the foundation to manage your finances in a way that optimizes the fruits of your work and that of your partner, if you have one, while at the same time understanding how to thrive economically. The reason many people do not make a budget is similar to why they don't follow a diet or exercise, despite knowing its importance. Why do so few actually budget and review their budget? The answer is the lack of a clear reason. Without a strong motivation, such as feeding the family, paying the mortgage, or covering a medical procedure for a loved one, budgeting remains on the to-do list. Consider, for example, that simply making a budget could guarantee you financial peace of mind. By keeping your finances under control, you will not only have peace now, but also be charting a secure financial path for the future. This proper management will allow you to achieve financial freedom in your retirement years, living off passive income without needing to depend on others. Unfortunately, this is something we rarely consider when we are young, but it's crucial to keep in mind because sooner or later, we all get there. Think about the worries and sleepless nights caused by financial problems. It's easy to think that earning more would solve everything, but for most, it's not just about that. The real key lies in properly managing what is earned and spent to maintain total control over your financial life. Once you've identified the reasons behind your actions, I encourage you to decide to transform your financial situation. I am determined to transform my financial situation to leave behind uncertainty and impulsive decisions. I want to avoid unexpected financial surprises and instead take control of my financial life. My goal is to manage my own finances as if I were running a business, with my income and expenses, in seeking the financial freedom that can bring peace to my family and me. Once you have clear reasons motivating you to change, commit to moving forward, not just mentally, which is a common mistake, but in writing. You might think that keeping your figures in your head is enough, but if you put them on paper, as I suggest in this video, you will likely find a significant discrepancy, usually between 20% to 30% unfavorable. The most important thing is to make the decision to do it, no matter how, but to do it. Then, set a short-term goal. It could be for this year, such as paying off debts, establishing an emergency fund, or saving for a property's down payment. Starting to educate yourself with information like this is a great motivation because, when proposing to acquire a property, many people think it is a goal exclusive to the rich. However, thousands have applied these concepts to their lives with positive results. The idea is to educate yourself to set a goal, and to achieve it, it is essential to organize your personal finances. This will lead to debt amortization, financial organization, and educating yourself to take a step forward. The first step is to define a goal that is simple and credible to you. Once you have decided on your objective, it'll be time to organize the budget. I invite you to take the necessary time to write everything down, whether on paper, a mobile device, or any other medium, but it is crucial that you make a list of all the expenses you remember. Then, review your bank and credit card statements from the last 12 months. This is important because most people tend to consider only monthly expenses and forget about annual ones, such as car taxes, property taxes, insurance, or vacations, which represent significant outlays and require planning. First, We need to make a list of all fixed expenses, those that are constant each month. These include rent or mortgage, basic services that barely fluctuate, taxes, insurance, school fees if any, and vehicle maintenance costs, like daily gas. Also, consider subscriptions and fixed payments for credit cards and debts. Next to fixed expenses, start identifying variable expenses. Here, it's important to avoid relying on your memory and seek real data. Even if you feel you spend little on groceries, restaurants, or entertainment, I encourage you to review your card and bank account transactions from the past 12 months. You may be surprised at how much you actually spend on shopping, entertainment, vacations, gifts, and hobbies. Once you have a clear picture of both fixed and variable expenses, it's time to consider your income. This includes salaries, commissions, and any extra income throughout the year. Don't forget to account for taxes, as they are a fundamental part of the budget. With all this information, create a table. There are tools that make this step easier. Summarize your income and expenses to determine your final balance. You'll be able to see whether you're achieving a surplus. Depending on the results, you will develop two types of strategies: defensive and offensive. Defensive strategies focus on reducing expenses. Often, it's difficult to identify where to cut, but one approach is to look at variable expenses, like dining out or small daily expenses. Try to track your expenses diligently for a month, noting every coffee or snack purchased outside, because even though they may seem insignificant, these ant expenses add up significantly. This way, you can start saving by bringing coffee from home or preparing it at work, which are small changes that can make a big difference in the long term. Starting to save may seem minimal, but it can have a great impact. Some people think a simple cup of coffee won't change their financial life, but I suggest you annualize these expenses. For instance, if each coffee costs $5 and you buy one 20 days a month, that's $100 a month, which accounts for $1,200 annually. This amount is comparable to the monthly salary of many people. And if you have debts with a 30% interest rate on $1,200 spent on coffee, that translates into $360 a year just in interest for a debt created by poorly planned expenses. Think about which expenses you can reduce. If you suddenly lost half of your income, you would be forced to find ways to decrease your expenses and commit to managing money as if it belonged to someone else. Reducing expenses could allow you to pay off your debts, achieve peace of mind, save, and buy a property. On the other hand, offensive strategies consist of increasing your income. Think about what you could do to earn an extra 10% of your salary. Achieving a 10% reduction in your expenses and a 10% increase in your income is like gaining 2 additional wages a year. I have so many stories like Charles, who thought it was impossible to pay off his debts in a year. With commitment, persistence, and by applying these suggestions, he contacted me after a year, happy, having cleared all his debts. In the comments of my YouTube channel, you can mention your testimonies or those of people who, instead of staying stuck, decided to apply the suggestions and managed to free themselves from their debts. It's not the video that makes the difference, it's you who commits to making the change. Imagine having 4 or 5 years where every month you paid off debts and suddenly you find yourself free of them. If you start paying off your debts and saving, don't make the mistake of spending those savings on unnecessary things. Instead, put that money into a savings account dedicated solely to future investments. This way, you can build passive income, whether through real estate or any other means securing your financial future. By committing to create and follow a budget, I can assure you that you will make a significant difference in your financial life. You will discover that you can spend much less than you earn. Likewise, you will realize that you can earn more than you currently consider possible and save more than you think. This transition will allow you to achieve deeper financial peace than you imagine because you actually have everything you need to reach your goals. The only thing that separates you from them is a change in mindset. I invite you to subscribe to my Financial Legion channel. Subscribing doesn't cost you anything and helps us boost this space. Also, give it a like to receive notifications. Don't miss it. The information is available here.